what test we started last time. We did 2 passages of practice, but I don't remember which test it was. Does anyone remember?
It might have been. I don't think it was this one, but okay, it's somewhere in the 400s, I think. Do you guys remember? Is this it? Most likely not this one. I don't know. It's not this one. Oh man. Is it? Oh, is it practice test 5? Did we do page 746 ish? 746. Is that right? Did we start that one last time?
Passage 5.
Huh?
Are we on passage 5?
Oh, because we skipped around. Right, because we did one passage and then we skipped forward with it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yep, we did passage 1 and passage 5.
Of this is the correct test though, right? Okay. Cool. So we haven't done passage 2, 3, 4. Is that right? Okay. Awesome. So today, I'm gonna be here today and one more time, and I've gotten through all the content that I think I want to teach about or talk to you guys about. We've covered all the different question types. So the goal for these next few days is just practice, ask questions, and figure out, just put those things that we've learned into practice. Normally you guys do pretty well on these tests, and it seems like you're pretty familiar. All of you have taken the test at least once before, right? So we're familiar with what it looks like. Now it's just about actually putting those things into practice and getting them correct, basically. So there's only so much practice you guys do on your own, so I just want to get some where you have a resource to ask questions whenever you want to if you're unsure about something. Before we start, please do ask questions, because you're not going to learn anything, and it's really hard for me to help you guys if I don't know what we're confused about. It's okay to ask a question about something you still got right. You can get something right and still ask a question about it because maybe you weren't sure how to approach it, or is there an alternative method to approach it, or whatever. So this is not going to be very useful if we're not asking questions. So that's all I'm going to say. I need your guys' participation. Also, on the actual test, there obviously is a bubble sheet, right? We're familiar with this. The next time I'm here, we're practicing, we will use a bubble sheet just to get used to that situation. But for today, we can just go normally. But I want you to keep that in mind when you're watching the time. Like last week, I pushed you guys a little bit on purpose for time. Today, I'm intending to do the same thing where I'm going to try to squeeze you on time, just because when you're at home and you're practicing by yourself, I don't imagine you think about your worst case scenario of oh my gosh, what if I'm running low on time and you have to push. Most people in this class really don't have that issue, but for maybe one passage, I'll just cut your time shorter, just to, if something goes wrong on the test and you have to go at a super fast speed and what you're used to. I just want you guys to have done that before, so it's not a new situation. I don't anticipate that being a problem for anyone in here, but just in case, we might do one practice like that. But okay, so we'll get through 3 practice tests, or 3 passages. We'll just finish out this test and then be done. So let's do you guys want to do 1 and then 2, or 2 and then 1? What do you think? Someone help me. You want to do 2 or 1 first? 2 first?
Yeah.
2 first. Okay, so we'll do 2 first. We'll go at normal speed here, so I'll give you a full 18 minutes, and then we'll come together and talk about those. And the last one, we'll push a little bit on time. So, for anyone that doesn't know, we're in our red official ACT prep book, and we are on page 746. Write that up here just in case. Page 746. We're going to do passage 2 and passage 3 together. So I'll give you your full 18 minutes. If you finish early, don't worry. Go back, look through your answers. do as well as you can here. Practice as hard as you're gonna do on the actual test, but all right. Passage 2 and passage 3. You guys good? All right. And go.
Okay. All right. So there was your 18 minutes.
So got 9 minutes per there. I left the full time on. I know a lot of you already finished there, but okay. So let's go over the answers, starting from question number 16. All right. Is everyone ready? Okay. 16J, 17C, 18F, 19A, 20F, 21B, 22J, 23B, 24H, 25A, 26J, 27A, 28H, 29D, and 30G, 31D, 32G, 33B, 34J, 35D, 36G, 37C, 38F, 39C, 40F, 41A, 42F, 43B, 44F, and 45C. Does anyone need me to repeat any of those? You guys get those okay? All right. I will save the ones that I want to talk about till the end. I'll let you guys ask questions first. Okay, so first of all, before I let you go anything, I would say this book that we have here gives a very, very accurate difficulty level to what the actual ACT test will be. If any of you have been in the regular section, we use this book instead, this 10 ACT practice one. This one tends to fly on the easy side in comparison to what the actual test is. So normally I like to think of it as, let's imagine 10 is the absolute hardest you're going to see on test day. 1 is the absolute easiest. 5 is about average to what you'd see. This book does an extremely good job of keeping all their tests between about 4 and 6, which is really nice. This one tends to fly, I would say probably like 2 to 5, like the hardest passages in this book are basically just average ones. But the book you have in front of you here does a very good job of keeping those difficulty levels very realistic to what you're going to see. I would have assessed what we just did here, these 2 passages, as slightly on the easy side, so I would say maybe a 4 out of 10 difficulty if 5 is the average. So maybe a little bit easier. Nothing too notable though, so the only reason I want to bring that up is just using this book as a resource for when you're practicing by yourself is extremely important because it's just so similar to what you're going to see on the actual test. This book is written by the people who write the actual test. So please pay attention and look at the way the questions are phrased, and how you're doing on this is a very good predictor of how you'll do on the actual test. Okay. Does anyone have any questions they would like to start with? Online, do you guys have any questions on this at all? Nothing?
21.
21. Okay. So, 21, I'll find it here. Okay, so 21 reads, when the tunnels reached a town or field, the water flowed into more easy accessible surface canals. More easy accessible doesn't seem right? So I would eliminate A right away. B says more easily accessible. Okay, I like that so far. Normally that structure makes sense. You put an adverb right before what you're doing. They're more easily accessible, right? So that makes sense. C says the water flowed into easier and accessible surface canals. I don't think that makes a ton of sense, so I'd probably eliminate C there. And then as for D, the water flowed into easy and accessible surface canal. Is that the one you picked? Did you pick D?
Yes.
Okay. I would say easy is kind of hard. I don't think easy is the correct word to describe a surface canal. The check for this that you normally do would be, imagine when you describe anything with 2 words, you should be able to eliminate one of them and it still should make sense. So if you were to describe something as just that word, it still should make sense. So if you said like the tall, handsome tutor, then you would say tall tutor, handsome tutor. Okay, they both make sense, so that's fine. Here, we have easy and accessible. So accessible surface canal makes perfect sense. Easy surface canal, what does it mean for the canal to be easy? That doesn't really make sense. I think what they want there is easily accessible. So those words to fit together, to be one an adverb and one a literal adjective. So does that kind of make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, this one can be tricky because when you read it, it sounds completely good and fine, but when you break it down, it doesn't make sense to describe that canal as easy. So that's what was wrong there. But okay, does anyone else have questions on this one? Yeah.
44.
44. Okay. Let's go flip to 44 here. 44 says the writer wants to emphasize that the information, okay, could have dramatic effects. Okay, so that's what I would underline there. Dramatic effects on how scientists study the universe. Okay, so of these choices, F says new way of looking at our galaxy and galaxies beyond. Okay, that makes pretty good sense. That one seems good. G says phenomena that have puzzled scientists over the last decade. Okay, well that doesn't change how we're going to look at the universe. So you eliminated G, I'm assuming? You picked G? Okay. I don't like G because it's talking about the past here over the last decade,
Yeah.
whereas we want to talk about, this is a new thing, and we want to talk about how it's affecting the future,
Okay.
and a different way to look at the galaxy. I would have thought, I assume people may have picked J if they got this one wrong. The world around us seems to be a common one of, when you say, like, you're looking for a dramatic effect on the way we look at the universe, it makes sense to say how we look at the world around us. It might change the way we look at the world around us. But the issue with that is, like, this specific concept, these neutrinos, are something that's going to change the way not only we look at our world, but, like, literal entire galaxies on such a bigger scale than just small, like, the world around us doesn't actually entail what this means. This is such a bigger thing than that. So that's why F is correct.
Yeah.
Does that make sense now?
Yeah, I saw a phenomena and I was like, that sounds dramatic. So
Yeah,
I didn't say
okay.
decade.
Yeah, the last decade was the issue with that one, yeah. Okay, have any of you guys heard of neutrinos before? No? It's super interesting stuff. If you're interested in science or physics at all, definitely look. It's very, very cool. But, okay, does anyone have any other questions in these two passages? Okay, online, do you guys have any more questions? Okay, I'm gonna just do a check here. How many people, you could just raise your hand or like put an emoji up if you're online. How many people got all of those correct?
On this one?
Yeah, on these two passages. Okay, 1 wrong. Okay, 2 wrong. Okay, 3 wrong. All right, 4. Okay, 5. 6. 7. 8. Anyone? I think we've got everybody now. Okay, good. That's really great. I'm very happy with our performance there. That's really, really good stuff to be able to keep that level of consistency throughout these things. So I just want to also, Shritaj, which one did you get wrong?
I got 15 wrong.
15. What the?
Didn't you?
I was about to say, we didn't even do
Yeah.
15. What?
What is it? 25.
25. Okay. And now you understand why 25 is right? Why it was supposed to be.
Is it because, like, moreover is, like,
The point I'm trying to make is just that, like, so not everyone got perfect scores here, so I'm a little confused why we don't have more questions as a class, is all I'm trying to say. But okay, let's go over 25 now that we're already here. So, this is one of those, these questions are very difficult to do because transition words always trip people up. you have to look for different types of relationships between the previous and preceding sentence, right? So let's look at which one did you end up picking?
I had D.
D, even so. Okay, what I did when I was answering this question is even so and in contrast basically mean the same thing, right? Despite this, even so.
Oh, I thought you
Okay.
had some further.
Oh, further. Moreover and furthermore basically mean the same thing.
Okay.
So furthermore might have been the thing you were thinking about. Even so is like a contrasting relationship.
Okay.
Like even though this happens, this is still. So that's why it was A, not.
Okay.
Yeah, but does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you normally the way you analyze these questions is look at the thing before, look at the thing after, analyze the relationship between them, and then pick the word that fits that relationship. So since this wasn't a contrasting relationship. Yeah. Okay. Does anyone have any more questions? We had quite a few that didn't get every question right, so I just want to know, does everyone get why they got all their questions wrong? Online, do you guys have any more questions? Okay, I'm going to highlight a few that I think are just important or some things that we've covered in this class extensively that I just want to point out to you guys. And some of them are quite funny examples, so I just want to bring them out. 29 is a good example of, I made a big point about don't ever repeat something because that's just like, especially on the ACT, don't repeat something. But in real life, you shouldn't. Try your best not to repeat things. I do it all the time in this class, but that's different. I never make any mistake ever, so it doesn't count. But normally, you shouldn't repeat things. So when we look at this example here, as we're going through stone mounds that mark the ventilation shafts, blah, 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 where they can be seen now, seen even now, where we just said what is now southwestern Libya, so we'd already said that. There's no reason to repeat stuff, so that's why that one was D. I think there was another example of a don't repeat stuff. Oh yeah, 31 is a good example of that, where we said 86 cables descend meters down. Okay, well, we already know it's going down because we said descend, right? So you don't need to repeat that. So be careful, watch those type of things. 40 is another one I would just point to you because this is a grammatical one. Excuse me. We talked about each is one body, right? That one exception to our agreement rule there. And 40 fits into that each is one body because we're saying the origin of each of these neutrinos is, not each are, right? So that's why that one was. And then I'm not going to talk about these too extensively, but 37 and 45. Do you see how those ones are those yes because, no because questions? 37 and 45 are both like that. I just want to emphasize, I said this last time, but I just want to emphasize that whenever you see something like this, before you read the answer choices, please just pick yes or no, and then just cross out the one that you don't pick, and then read the answer choices. Don't read the answer choices right away. The other side was having a little bit of trouble with that, so I just wanted to reemphasize this with you guys, that pick yes or no first, and then decide out of the two you have left, which one the right one is. Okay, no one has any more questions? We're good? All right, last passage here then. I'm going to push you a little bit on time. I'll only push a minute, but... All right, yeah, let's only push a minute. So I'll stop you at 8 minutes instead of 9. But don't really... I'm not too worried about time with you guys. Seem to be doing really, really well on time. But okay, is everyone ready? All right, and go. This is passage 4 now. You gotta be kidding. It's rigged. All right. That was 8 minutes, so I pushed a little bit. Normally you'd have an extra minute if you needed it, but it didn't seem like you guys really needed that extra minute, so that's good. But let's go through the answers here. We're starting at question 46. Okay. 46 was F.
We did that passage.
Sorry. It's supposed to be the next one, right? 61. Sorry, guys. My bad. Starting at 61. Apologies. 61 was D. 62 F. 63 C. 64 H. 65 D. 66 G. 67 A. 68 J. 69 D. 70 J. 71 B. 72. Okay, that one's. The answer's marked really bad, so I'm gonna come back to that one. 73 A. 74 H. 75 B. I'm gonna go look at 72 quick. I'll figure out the right answer. It's H. Okay. So, did you guys get all those? Did I miss any?
Wait, what was 69?
69 was D. Okay. Does anyone have any questions they'd like to go over on this one? Yeah.
66.
66. All right. Okay, so the question says former modern technologies like radio or telephone commanders. Okay, that doesn't even make any sense. That's not F. Before modern technologies, commanders on the battlefield face challenges. Okay, that makes sense. H says earlier modern technologies. Well, that doesn't make sense because earlier modern, like what? That just doesn't even make sense. And then prior modern technologies like radio or telephone commanders. So that doesn't make sense exactly. So I picked G. Which one did you pick?
J.
J. Prior modern technologies like radio or telephone. I just don't think, because I think that doesn't make it, like those two things don't really connect then if you say prior. I think if you said prior to, then it would be okay.
Okay.
Prior to modern technologies like radio or telephone commander. Yeah, that would be fine. But without prior to, it just seems a little bit unclear what you're talking about there.
Mhm.
Any other ones? Nothing? Okay, well, before I let you go here, online, sorry, I didn't check. Do you guys have any questions on this one that was confusing? No? Okay. So before I let you go, I just want to emphasize one last time the importance of after you practice. I know I'm hoping you guys are practicing on your own, and this doesn't only apply to English, but when you practice, once you're done, take some time to go back and look at the answers, answer each one again to say like, okay, did I understand why this one was wrong if you got it wrong? And then it can be really helpful to take a second and just reflect and think about it. Like, after all of these passages, I normally am thinking, and you don't have to do this on the actual test, but when you're practicing, think about, oh, well, this one was harder or easier than the usual ones I do. These questions were particularly difficult. They asked a lot of these questions, or maybe I was struggling with this concept or whatever, and then you can go on to the next one. That extra 20 seconds of reflection you can do in practicing can go a really long way to noticing some patterns or issues in your own preparation, or some things that you're really, really good at that you can lean on more heavily. So I highly recommend just take some time and think about what you just did after you do these type of things. It can be extremely helpful for when you're moving forward. Okay, next class I'm here. I haven't decided fully, but I think we're going to use the bubble sheet in practice, or we might do a different style of practice where under some different types of pressures. Or maybe we'll practice out loud, I don't know yet. But the next class will also be practicing. Does anyone have any type of question or issue that they would like to raise? Because then I can get some preparation for it. before next class. Does anyone have a type of question that they're struggling with particularly or anything? No? Online, is there anything in particular that we want to talk about before next class? No? All right, then we will be done here. Thank you guys.